kasih Dr. Zalina. Seperti yang tuan-tuan dan puan-puan maklum, satu subjek yang paling rapat dengan diri saya adalah berkaitan dengan kepimpinan dan pemimpin itu sendiri. Dan hari ini saya nak kongsikan satu video dan banyak kali saya lihat video ini dan saya rasa saya boleh kaitkan dengan juga laluan kerjaya saya, kepimpinan saya dan sebagainya. Dan banyak saya belajar juga supaya dapat diamalkan. Dan saya rasa topik tentang kepimpinan ini selalu diperbualkan oleh semua orang, tak kira di mana pun. Maupun kepimpinan secara umum di peringkat negara, tapi juga kepimpinan institusi, dan bagi kita kepimpinan di sekolah, kepimpinan di PPD, JPN, KPM, dan juga di organisasi-organisasi lain. So 7 trait ini, apa 7 trait ini yang akan kita sama-sama dengar dalam video yang akan ditayangkan sebentar lagi.
Wherever you are, leaders are important. Whether it's to lead powerful organizations or just to make sure a group of friends are having a good time. Here are the 7 traits that all great leaders possess. Number 1, they radiate positive energy. There is nothing more important in a team than passion and the will to succeed. And having a positive leader is an important part of that. Sometimes I sign onto Facebook and I see these status updates that just reeks of negativity. These people are not good leaders, and more often than not, they are not very successful either. Great leaders radiate positive energy. Not only does that make them more likable, leading to more trust, it also boosts the team's morale. And countless studies have shown a positive relationship between team morale and productivity. Number 2, they have a proactive attitude. When something goes wrong, it's easy to blame someone else or to find out why it happened immediately. But great leaders put that aside. They shift their focus entirely on solving the problem. I used to be in charge of the takeout service at the restaurant I worked at. So basically, people would call to make their order, and my job is to make sure everything is packed and given to the right person. It was a really busy restaurant, so mistakes weren't that uncommon. This one time, after a customer came to pick up his food, I realized that we forgot to pack part of his order. I was fairly new at the time and I didn't know what to do, but luckily one of the owners of the restaurant was there, so I explained to him what happened. He didn't blame me. He didn't even ask how it happened. Instead, he told me to call the customer, apologize for what happened, and then tell him that we will personally deliver the missing part of his order to his house. At the end of the day, the owner sat down with me to talk about how we can prevent something like this from happening again, but he did it at the end of the day, not when the problem was still unresolved. Great leaders know what to focus on at any given point in time. They are proactive. Number 3, they delegate tasks completely. Great leaders realize that they can't do everything themselves, so they focus on the most difficult tasks and delegates the rest to others. Let's say you make more than $30 an hour, yet every week you still spend several hours cleaning your house and doing the laundry. Considering a maid costs around $30 an hour, you might decide it's worthwhile to hire one to do your housework for you. When I first started delegating my work to others, I was hesitant because I knew that I could probably do a better job than the person I'm assigning it to. For example, a maid might put your clothes in the wrong drawer every once in a while, but you should still hire her, because the extra time you get to work on more valuable tasks generally outweighs the negatives. Delegating also means fully trusting your team to do the task without micromanaging their every move. Great leaders delegate tasks to others and trust them to get the job done. Number 4, they are approachable. A great leader is one who their teammates could see themselves approaching whenever they have a concern or when they simply need someone to discuss things to. When Sam Walton opened over a dozen Walmart stores, he was still available to privately talk to any one of his thousands of employees. Was this the reason Sam Walton was so successful? We can't say for sure, but he is a prime example of someone who's approachable, And it so happens he's also one of the most notable leaders in the last 3 decades. There is a saying that's very appropriate in this situation, and that is, a non-productive work environment is one where employees are discouraged to speak up, fearing the loss of their jobs. Great leaders encourage feedback from all members of the organization. They are approachable. Number 5, they do what they expect of others. If you expect your team to work hard and produce great results, you're going to have to do the same. When I was a kid, I worked at Wendy's, the fast food restaurant. There were 2 managers there, Maria and Francis. Maria was very good at telling us what to do, but she would always be in her office talking on the phone with her boyfriend. We listened to her, but none of us really respected her. And that is because she doesn't place the same expectations for herself as she does for us. Francis, on the other hand, was different. He didn't have a lot of leadership traits. In fact, he even had trouble telling us what to do. But the one thing he did have was he pulled his own weight. When it was busy, he would grab the spatula and start flipping burgers alongside us. As a result, he gained the respect of everyone. Whenever he was our manager, we worked hard because we wanted to, for Francis. A great leader sets an example, and as a result, gains the respect of his or her entire team. Number 6, they are accountable. Your team's mistakes are your mistakes because you are their leader. Remember the restaurant example? When we left out part of the customer's order, the owner and I personally went to deliver what we missed. Imagine the owner of a restaurant coming to your doorstep to apologize for their mistake. That is unheard of, and yet that is exactly the level of accountability great leaders practice all the time. It's not just about responsibility, it's about taking the next step to make things right. Great leaders are accountable. And lastly, they are decisive. A lot of times, leaders have to make decisions that they are not sure of. But once they have enough evidence to suggest making that decision, they stick with it, and they do it with confidence. Imagine that you are the commander of an army, and you have to make the decision whether to enter the enemy territory from the north or from the west. There's no information as to which one makes more sense, but you will still have to choose. Because without you, their leader, half of your army might decide to invade from the north and half from the west, and some might even call it quits and retreat. Therefore, your job as a leader isn't to always make the right decision, but it's to make a decision in order to keep the team together. Wrong decisions could be fixed, but a scattered team is a recipe for disaster. Great leaders are decisive and confident in their decisions. I hope these tips help you become a better leader.
So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, banyak message-message yang tersirat daripada video tadi, dan kita sendiri boleh hayati, dan kerana kita sentiasa sedang berinteraksi dengan pemimpin di pelbagai peringkat, dan bagaimana trait-trait atau ciri-ciri yang kita lihat tadi daripada 7 ciri tadi ada atau tidak dengan pemimpin-pemimpin di sekeliling kita. So dalam 7 trait ini, yang pertama, positive energy itu sangat penting, ya. Bukannya sentiasa kita menjadi Mr. No-no, dengar dan kita tunjuk bahawa kita berminat, ya, kalau sesuatu itu boleh dilaksanakan. Kita mesti proaktif selain bukannya reaktif kalau sesuatu sudah jadi, dan boleh mengagihkan tugas, percaya dengan rakan sekerja kita atau subordinate kita. Dan seseorang pemimpin mesti mudah didekati. Tidak kerana nak tunjuk muka garang apa. Saya rasa dalam zaman sekarang, seorang pakar ditanya, dia kata ada 3 revolusi. Revolusi pertama ialah revolusi industri, revolusi yang kedua ialah revolusi maklumat, dan revolusi yang ketiga ialah revolusi emosi. Now this is the emotional revolution. Dalam emotional revolution ni, cara kita mengurus manusia, kita mengurus organisasi telah berbeza, sudah berbeza sekarang. daripada dahulu. So, seorang pemimpin mesti mudah didekati. Bukan kerana kita mau bodek dan sebagainya, tetapi kerana kita rasa kita boleh bincang dan kita rasa selesa. Dan pemimpin kena buat orang yang bersama dia selesa. Jadi teladan. Ya. Nombor 5, jadi teladan kepada yang lain. Turun padang. Kita sudah banyak kali dengar istilah itu, turun padang. So you must do what you expect from others. You have to show the way. Dan yang seterusnya, nombor 6, accountability kita tak boleh lari. Walaupun kita delegate, we are accountable. Kita terima tanggungjawab itu. Itu adalah sebahagian daripada ciri penting pemimpin. Dan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dengar tadi bahawa ini bukan kerana keputusan yang dibuat itu mesti betul, tapi yang penting seorang pemimpin mesti buat keputusan. Betul atau salah keputusan itu adalah satu perkara yang kemudian kita lihat, tapi yang penting kita buat satu keputusan berdasarkan fakta yang ada, data yang ada, maklumat yang ada. Membuat keputusan itu adalah penting. Next please. Kita ada banyak buku dan banyak contoh pemimpin di dunia, dan saya suka nak quote pemimpin kita sendiri, Allahyarham Tengku Abdul Rahman, dalam konfrontasi dengan Indonesia pada tahun 60-an, kalau tak silap saya, beliau mengeluarkan ungkapan ini, not bullets but books. Apa maksudnya not bullets but books? Artinya, sebagai pemimpin dia tahu tidak membawa faedah kalau kita berkonfrontasi, tapi yang penting kalau kita boleh sama-sama menyelesaikan sesuatu perkara. Penyelesaian itulah dikaitkan dengan buku, dengan perbincangan, bukan dengan senjata. Not bullet but books. So tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, ada banyak contoh pemimpin di dunia yang kita boleh lihat mempunyai trait-trait yang berbeza, termasuk 7 trait yang diutarakan tadi. Dan untuk bacaan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kalau lihat ada banyak buku, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan Google saja leadership dan akan dapat. Ingat bahawa leadership bukan hanya patut menjadi ilmu kepada seseorang yang sudah jadi pemimpin. Seseorang yang bagi kami di CDL, kami anggap every teacher is a teacher leader. Dan sebagai teacher leader, you are a leader. When you stand in front of a class, di depan kelas, anda adalah seorang pemimpin. So, kepimpinan anda amat dihargai dalam sistem, dan menjadi teladan kepada semua, kepada rakan sejawat, kepada murid, dan juga kepada kepimpinan di sekolah atau di institusi kita, di mana juga kita berada. So itu saja daripada saya untuk Jumaat 25 hari bulan Februari.